What's up guys, and welcome back to another video here on Full Throttle. My name is Charlie. Today I'm going to be doing my SPL lower control arms, and I want to get my suspension dialed in the rear at least, as close to zero as possible. That way I can have even tire wear, especially when I go out and have fun in my car. It's kind of a pain in the ass that I have to replace my tires way too frequently, and I know that's something that's going to happen all the time when you go out and have fun in your car, but I've probably replaced maybe 5 sets of tires on my car since December, so I'm going through them really quickly. So today I'm going to be bringing my car up a little bit, and I'm going to try to dial in my suspension to, in the rear at least, as close to 0 degrees camber as possible, and I'm going to take it to alignment and have them help me with that as well. And so basically these are the SPL control arms. Alright guys, so these SPL lower control arms fit the 2003 to 2008 Nissan 350Z. They also fit the 2003 to 2006 G35 sedan and the 2003 to 2007 G35 coupe. They are made of 1 1/4 chromoly tubing, 4130, slipped over CNC machine angled steel sleeve, and then TIG welded. They feature a 3-piece FK bearing rod end design manufactured in Connecticut, and they feature a Teflon liner to provide quiet operation, low friction, smooth articulation, and eliminates bearing deflection under load. The PTFE liner is chemically bonded to the inner diameter. The liner offers a very high load carrying capacity and has greatly increased dynamic wear characteristics. The operating temperature of the liner ranges from -65 degrees to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, offering robust reliability for both street and track use. And I have to say, these arms look pretty beautiful. If you guys are a subscriber, if you've been here before, I sell a lot of 350Z parts, G35, G37, and 300ZX parts. If you guys need any of these parts, you can head to my eBay store. I'll leave the link in the description. And but yeah, so let's get to this install. Alright, so you've got 17 millimeters here, and then you've got 2 17 millimeters on the other side. This one on the back side right here is 17, but on the back side of the subframe for the lower control arm is at 19. So you're going to need a 17. I've grabbed a breaker bar, a 17 millimeter, and I'm going to see if I can just crack these loose. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to put a wrench on the back. And then on the back side of this one is a 19 millimeter. Just to kind of break it loose. Not think about how my sway bar is in the way. Nope. Okay, well, I gotta drop the sway bar. So for these panels, you're gonna need to have a 10 millimeter. I'm gonna grab the gun with the 10 millimeter, and I'm gonna drop all 3 of these. Hopefully this doesn't get in the way. And then I'm going to grab a 12 millimeter and drop the sway bar. And I'm not gonna disconnect it from the end links. I'm just going to drop the brackets. Well, the lift is sitting on top of it over here, so I'm just gonna have to work around that. 14 millimeter. Always forget the size of these. See if just moving it down a little bit will give me enough clearance. There we go. Alright, so that one's out. So now that that one's off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to measure from this point to this point in the direct center of both of these holes, and I'm going to put the SPLs, I'm going to adjust the SPLs to the same exact length. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright, so what I did is I basically just spun this out like this, and when I spun this one out, I also spun the one up here out. So I have about equal, you know, equal lengths. Then what you do is you tighten up this locking collar right here, and then you spin these down, and I think they might be tight right now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab a wrench. But you spin these locking collars down, locking rings, and you lock them against here, and then you tighten this down, and that locks this in place. But when you put this onto the subframe, which it goes like this, you don't want this to be angled like this or like this. That's why you have the ability to adjust it here, and also an ability to adjust it here. So you don't want this to be angled in a weird way. You want it to be pretty flush, so that way it doesn't cause premature failure or anything like that. So I basically spun those out to about the same exact length from the holes to the holes here. So you can see that there, that they're about exactly the same. Now I'm going to throw this one up, and I'm going to see how it looks up there and give you guys a show of that, and move the camera back to where it was just a second ago. So I'm basically repeating the same process on the other side as well. So both sides, the exact same thing. These arms are actually interchangeable. You can put it from the right to the left or the left to the right. It doesn't matter which side they go on, because they're exactly the same thing on both sides. So if I have it on one side over here, it's going to be the same exact thing as the other side over here. There's no difference. That's why these control arms that are stock, they don't say R, they don't say L on them anywhere. So the first one I'm going to put through is this one right here. I'm actually going to spin this to right there. All right. There we go. Okay, this is flush. It's not angled. All right. So now I'm going to tighten them up, and I'm going to get the torque specifications for you guys too. Alright, I couldn't find the exact torque specifications, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to tighten both of them to 80 foot-pounds, and hopefully that's good enough. Don't forget about your alignment. This is for when they go to alignment, they can spin it for your stock arms. You don't necessarily need it for the SPL ones, but I like to put them on anyways. Or I'm going to put them on anyways. I just went off some specs that I saw in a diagram for the front lower control arms, but maybe I'm not going to tighten these down that much, because 80 is a lot. Okay. There we go. Alright, so 80 foot-pounds on both is tighten these down and tighten this up right here as well. So I'm going to grab something big enough to fit that. Alright, hopefully I have something big enough to fit it. Wow, I don't even have a wrench that big. I really do not want to use this but this is the only thing that I have that adjusts big enough, and I think I'm just going to use it to break it loose because it's pretty tight on there. And I really do not want to mess up the There we go. Alright, it's actually on the actual arm. That means this actually has to be really tight against here. There's nothing, this was not going to spin. So I'm just going to tighten this up. This is pretty straight. Alright, so the size for this is a 3/16, and which is a pretty random size. I mean, I don't know why they would have used a standard size and not a metric size, but anyways, 3/16 for here. This is a 17, this is a 17, on the back side over here is a 17, and then up behind here is a 19. And the two that dropped the sway bar were 14s, and to drop this, there's 3 10mm. So basically everything I did over here is the exact same as the other side. I'm still gonna video that side as well, but everything is the exact same. And that's the way it looks. Everything's torqued down. I think they look pretty nice. And you can see how they're flush. They're not, this one's a little tiny bit angled, but it's not very much at all. And then this one over here is pretty perfect. So that's the way they come out. I gotta say they look pretty sick. Yep. And just to show you guys what I was talking about, you see these arms? Let me get this focus in here. They are exactly the same. So right and left doesn't matter. Alright guys, and this is all of the tools that I used. I used the impact gun with the 10mm. That was just for the splash shields underneath the sway bar. A 3/16 inch Allen wrench, 17mm wrench, 19mm. These little clips, snips to snip off the zip ties on the lower control arms. A 17mm socket on this 3/8 ratchet. Torque wrench. Pipe wrench, shouldn't have used that, but it's the only thing that I had that would fit. 14mm with an extension and another socket wrench, and then the breaker bar. And that's it. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. I got the SPL lower control arms installed. I'm going to go to alignment and have them go through my negative camber issue and get it all lined up. But yeah, so if you guys like this video, if it helped you out at all, hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future. If you need any used parts, I've got a whole bunch of used OEM parts on my eBay store. I'm going to leave the link for that in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.